And here we go. Wakanda forever.
Hey, auntie.
Yesterday's show.
Wyclef Jean, BKS1 Radio. Let's go.
This is Essence Atkins, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Hi, this is Melba Moore, and you're listening to BKS1 Radio.
Yo, check it out. What's the deal? This the chef. Giving a big shout out to my peoples. Big KS, you already know what it is. Salute.
What's up? It's your girl Monifa, and I'm hanging with BKS1 Radio.
Hi, I'm Iyanla Van Zandt, and you're listening to BKS1 Radio.
BKS Radio, baby.
Hey, this is Jasmine Guy for BKS1 Radio.
What's going on? This is Lamont Rooker, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Shout out to BKS1, the best kept damn secret in the business.
Hey, what's up? This is Raven Goodwin from BET's Being Mary Jane, and shout out to BKS1.
Hi, this is Leon, and you're watching BKS1 Radio.
BKS1. God bless y'all.
Let's try this again. As much as we were talking, we got the nerve to be quiet when we want to know. Good morning. Good morning. What's good, peoples? What's good? Bang, bang.
Another edition, Friday edition, Good Friday edition
Yes.
of the Man Cave Morning Show. Let's
Yes.
clap that up.
Dig it.
I'm just
my
glad to be
God.
alive
Yes.
and be here with my awesome squad.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Man Cave Morning Show, yes, it's going down. This is the last show of the week.
Yes.
Last show of the week.
Before
Actually,
Easter.
it's the last show of the month. Actually, 'cause
Yes.
we start a new month. What, on Sunday?
Let's clap that up.
Yeah. So thank God.
We had a hell of a run this month. Hell of a run.
And some hella shows.
Yes.
No doubt, no
We
doubt.
say so ourselves.
Let me introduce the awesome squad. Right here to my left.
Here we go.
Y'all know her. 1/3 of the R&B group Allure.
Yada, yada.
We affectionately call her Hurricane Kiss.
The Hurricane.
Good morning.
Good morning,
The
y'all.
Hurricane.
Reason true. Reason true.
The Hurricane, ladies and
To
gentlemen.
my far right, that dude that gets a little rude.
Yes, sir.
Especially when he's in a bad mood.
Uh-huh.
We call him Deacon Will. Yes.
Bang, 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 bang,
And
bang.
sitting between me and Woo, the flamethrower,
The flamethrower.
the bedazzler,
The flamethrower.
The throne killer.
The chinchilla.
yes, yes,
The
the
mink.
fuzzy phone heiress.
The doodle stick giver.
Doodle sticks
The
eight.
Lord.
Doodle stick
We call her
5. Catch up.
Jackie D.
Yes,
Jackie D.
sir.
Good morning,
flamethrower,
everyone.
the
Happy
flamethrower.
Friday. Happy Good
Jackie Jack.
Friday. Okay.
And I
Let's
am
get it.
humbly the man that
Yes.
cleans the gum from underneath the seats,
Facts.
vacuums the floor,
Facts.
cleans the toilet bowl.
Yes, sir.
I'm
Eats all the
humbly,
Cheez-Its.
yes, stormed on the
No,
general.
I eat all the cheeses. Wakanda forever. Let's
Good
get
morning.
it.
Shout out,
team.
yes, shout out to everybody on the check-in. Good morning,
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Deborah.
Good morning.
Good morning, Deborah. Good morning, Ray Billups. Shout out to Roland Muhammad. Shout out to Patricia Shell Gibbons. Hey, sis.
Shell Gibbons.
Jeffrey Ford. Sandy Bradley. Hey, Mrs. Bradley.
Mrs.
Good morning,
General
Mrs.
in
Robin
the house.
Henry. Julius Gray on the check-in. What's
Jake
up, fam?
Gray.
JJ.
Denise Sparrow. Ingrid Judge. Good morning. Paul Joseph Williams. Good
JoJo.
morning. David Lamar Williams. Good morning.
Lamar.
Harold S. Reed Jr.
Reed.
In other words, HRJ.
HRJ.
Good
Bang,
morning.
bang.
Good morning.
Ricky Williams. Shakira. and the list goes on
Dang,
and
we
on.
got a full house.
Full house
today.
in the building.
Yes, share this out, everybody. Share it
Show
out.
off work
Shout out
on
to
Good
everybody
Friday.
at work.
Monet
Share.
in
Share
the
it.
building. Salute. So we're gonna talk about some things today, and as usual, we want y'all to be transparent, open, honest about your feelings, how you feel about something.
Yes.
And what's our number, folks? What's our number?
646-233-1302.
Yeah, let's see how it sounds with the ladies just saying it. What's our number, ladies?
646-233-1032.
130. She messed me up.
Don't try
that again, son.
And Will.
Try that again.
Will, me and we'll do it.
I can't.
No.
Our number is 646-233-1302.
I can't.
See?
I guess
But
that's
let
why
the ladies
this is
do
the
it.
man
Listen.
cave.
Remember,
Okay.
ladies, you don't understand this, but back in the 90s, they would have Smink-O-Vision phone. So you call the number and you hear, "Hi,
Wow.
Smink-O-Vision."
646-233-1302.
That's the
Yo,
number.
fellas, did you see what I just did for you, fellas? Huh? Rub one out on Good Friday. What's up?
All right, so this is what we're talking about today.
Yes.
This is what we're talking about today. And of course, we discuss these topics before we go
Y'all
live
don't
on
even
air.
understand.
So one of the
You don't
topics
even
is,
understand.
one of the topics is you're in a relationship but still act single. I'm gonna say it again.
Oh my God.
You're in a relationship but still
Why?
act single. Can anybody relate to yourself or someone else that does that?
Of course. I'm sure
Who can't?
we know some people like that and probably have even been those people once upon a time.
So I'm gonna go
Yeah.
right in. Woo.
Yeah.
How does that speak to you, sir?
Hello, BKS1. Men ain't shit. The end. That's how it speaks. How does it speak? Ladies, call in and tell us your tales of woe. We are here for you, ladies.
So
We're
what?
here for
So
you.
you've been there. So you're dodging.
Been
You're dodging.
Dodging what?
Dancing.
You're
dodging the
dodging.
question?
What?
I said,
What am I dancing?
I said, how does that speak to you? All right, so I'll go.
He's I was waiting.
Bam!
I know a lot of people that's in a relationship.
Yes.
In it's supposed to be either married or in a committed relationship, whatever.
Yeah.
And their ways and their actions is still that of a single person. And I see that a lot. You know what I'm saying? You in a relationship, whatever.
Oh, okay.
But you still going out, you hanging out, you hanging out, you still got your little flirtatious ways on. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You're selfish. You think more about yourself. See, when you're in a relationship, it becomes 50-50. It becomes give and take. Give and take. It's
Yeah.
give and take. It's give and take.
Supposed
But
to
when
be.
you still got that single mindset,
Yeah.
and some people don't realize they still got a single mindset.
Okay.
So does that mean that they're not really ready for a relationship?
General.
It's possible.
Is it more selfish or immature?
Is it
could be
immaturity?
more?
Well,
Is it?
I don't really know if it's immaturity. It can be more selfish because when you're older,
Go ahead.
you might be selfish. I don't think personally, I don't think if you're like 40 something years old and you're married but you still act single, you're immature. I don't think that. I would think that person is being selfish. I mean, because I've been in that position where I've been the one who was married, but I was still acting like I was single. Like you would never see a picture of my ex-husband posted. You never saw. I mean, never. Like most people put up there married, single, in a relationship. I promise y'all, I had single up there. I ain't never put any of that up there.
Right.
Because people knew, but it didn't matter to me if they did or didn't. And let's just be real here. A lot of times women wear rings on their fingers to avoid people coming at them.
I know I did.
Here's
You understand?
listen.
Yeah.
Here's the reason that my supposition is you're immature. Because if you look at a child, they're unable to delay gratification, and a child is completely self-absorbed.
Okay.
For what they want and what they desire. They have no concept of empathy or what another person wants. So that's why I say, like, it's a wellspring of childishness, and that's where the narcissism comes from. That's why I suggested that.
Yeah, no, I get it and I respect that. But trust me when I tell you. See, I always tell you guys, I will tell on me first before anybody else tell on me or try to think they are one up on me. No.
Right. So what made you change, babe?
Selfish.
What made you change?
I had to look at myself, and to be honest, I said, would I want someone to do this to me? Would I want to feel the way that this person must have felt? So that's what made me change.
So you started to feel and to consider how another person felt.
Oh yeah, because I didn't care.
Okay.
I didn't care.
So you became more empathetic towards other people.
Like,
right?
I honestly, I'm being 100. I thought it was all about me. I thought the world didn't start until the sun came up and the moon set. So that's just it. I'm putting it out there. I didn't care. I didn't care if I hurt your feelings. I didn't care if you were mad that I didn't post a picture that you and I went out. Get your own social media. Post your own picture.
One day you just woke up and said, I don't want to be this way anymore. What was the catalyst to change you?
Well, I honestly, 100, I started going to church more. And I started listening to my pastor. I stopped being a seat filler. And I started listening to what the message was. I don't want to say I was looking at him like he was like God. You understand? I was listening to the word. And the word made me want to change.
So when you
because I wasn't living that.
So when you went to church, you started to hear some principles being discussed, like compassion.
Well, let me just say this. I already
patience.
knew about principles and compassion and everything.
Right.
I just didn't implement them.
Okay, but you began to implement them because why? Because the church made you more aware of them? You were aware of them,
No, I was
but you
aware of
weren't.
them. I just didn't care. Okay. I started to just look at, I took, like Michael Jackson said, look at the man in the mirror.
Right.
I looked at the woman in the mirror, and
So
I was
you
like,
reflected.
this was just not the way I want to live my life.
Sir. Yes,
So
sir.
if you're in a relationship, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And you got and you still acting as a single person, what are some things that we would see as disrespectful because you're in a relationship? And I see some women in the relationship and they still in contact with their exes.
Wow.
They still inboxing their exes or male friends.
Yes.
And talking to them as if they are single.
Check.
You guilty?
I can't.
Damn, you guilty?
I was, yes.
I ain't got my bomb effect.
She disconnected
Listen,
it.
when I tell you that I was a hot mess,
You
and
should admit
I suffered from that
Right.
girl syndrome
Right.
because I could get away with it. People allowed it. I could get away with it.
You know what?
People allow stuff, so if they allow it, you're gonna do it.
If you're an attractive person, you're used to getting things that you don't earn. You look a
Yes.
certain way, right? And people just do things for you, and you don't have to be held accountable for your actions. You don't really got to work. You know what I mean? So that behavior and that mindset becomes reinforced. And the older you get, and the more attention, it just kind of snowballs. You become like a monster.
Let
you
me
know what I
tell
mean?
you, that was my drug. Y'all don't even understand. Some people get high by smoking weed.
Right.
Some people get high by, like drinking. I got high off of just, being
attention?
a thot, okay?
Right.
Let's just say what it is.
Right.
Listen, and when I say that, doesn't mean I was sleeping with everybody. Let's clear that up first. It means that I love the attention. I love the attention that I was getting, and for me being that I'm a twin, we had already got attention because very attractive from the minute we were born, and we're twins, and it's like, oh my God, twins.
So flamethrower, listen, unearned attention, unearned it. Like you can't help how you look and the way you were born,
Yes.
right? So unearned attention, not like, hey, you're a great talk show host. Hey Norm, I love the way you spin those records.
I didn't even have to
did
speak.
a thing. No, this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Instead of, listen, my craft is giving me attention, you just was like, hey,
I'm here.
and attention, right?
Hello.
And that can be very dangerous and very self-destructive to you and the people around you. Am I correct?
Exactly.
All right.
Now that's what I'm talking about because we're transparent here, right? We're family.
Yeah,
Right.
So I can tell you guys.
Of course.
Let me flip it and shout out to everybody on the check-in. We're gonna read some of your comments. So again, we're talking about you're in a relationship, but still act single. You still got a single mindset. Why is that?
Why is that?
I heard from Jackie. So you the other female perspective today on the show.
Right.
Give me some insight on this. You're in a relationship, but you still got a single mindset. You still act single.
It's kind of hard for me to speak from my perspective because whenever I was in a relationship, I was in a relationship. I've been in situations where I've been in a relationship and the other person was acting very much like they were single and trying to almost like cover it up and make it seem as if it wasn't what I was seeing. You get what I'm saying? The talking to another female at 3 o'clock in the morning, the texting till, you know, whatever hours of the night, the flirting, and I mean the blatant flirting. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Blatant. Like,
oh, while you're there?
Oh, while I'm laying right there.
On the phone?
On the fucking phone.
Oh my God.
Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah. Okay,
Wow.
on the
That's
phone.
disrespect.
Like talking to females and I wish I had your lips and I wish this and I wish I could hold you.
With you
but,
there?
But no, she's my friend and that's how we are.
Oh,
so then I can speak to my male friends this way.
Oh, I ain't gonna
and then with me, I always had this thing where it was always misconstrued of how I spoke to my male friends because I grew up around nothing but guys.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? My sister was my sister. I had female friends, a very chosen few.
Yes.
Because I couldn't trust none of them as far as I could spit them half the time either. And
Facts.
you know, you learn and you grow. You know, we all went through it. We all have our past and we've lived. But
wow.
when you start doing stuff like that, and then the same ones will be the ones to be like, oh well, you calling this one hun and this one whatever. And I've always had this universal language where I call people sweet. My mom was like that. Mom was like, hey sweetie, hey princess,
you know
say
what?
this.
My husband have a problem with
But
that.
guys always, you just
you
too
have a problem
flirty.
with
You
that,
too
too?
nice. You too flirty. Like how's that flirting?
I'm guilty of
I have a
terms of
problem with that.
endearment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, and a
Yeah,
lot of
Everybody's
times,
bae.
some people can misconstrue that as flirting or whatever like that. But you know, like I'll be in a Walmart. And it'd be the old lady behind me. I'm like, oh, thank you, hon. Thanks, hon.
Me too.
Oh, thanks,
Yes.
sweetie. Blah 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 blah. Whatever. And that's just
you.
that's just me. But I realize sometimes I have to tailor that back.
Yes,
I have to
yes,
wean it back a little
yes.
bit because you know, since I got married and everything
Right.
or whatever, there are females that be like, if you be like, oh, thank you, hon, or you may touch their shoulder and be like, no one checking me out.
You know
No one
what?
feeling me. And
I
like,
feel you, but
Because
I would
small
never
gestures can be
think like that. And the
misunderstood.
reason being is because that's what I do. Everybody's baby, everybody's sweetheart, everybody's honey. Listen, those are just nicknames that I just say instead because I'm bad with names. So I'm very good at being like, what you say, sweetie? I'm
Yeah,
bad with
right.
names.
and I keep it 100. My name, and it's funny because since I got married, I rarely hear,
Your
you know,
name?
my wife say my name. My actual name is Babe. So I think my name is Babe now.
Right.
too. My name is Babe Bradley.
Babe Bradley.
It's Babe Bradley.
Right.
That's so cute.
You know what I'm saying? And then if I'm upstairs and she always in the kitchen, it's Baby, Baby. And I'm like, so.
Oh my God.
So terms of endearment, I get it or whatever like that. But to me, sometimes when you're in a relationship, you
gotta stop being you.
Yeah, you kind of have to edit yourself.
Yeah.
Stop being you.
It's not stop being you, Jay, but you kind of have
Just
to
be
edit
cautious of
yourself
how you are.
out of respect. And a lot of people sometimes they're disrespectful in the relationship and they don't even know it.
But let's
They
be,
still want to do single things. Go ahead.
let's be clear. There is decorum. I'm a touchy feely person. Hey, babe, honey. So I'm guilty of the
Floating?
the
Yeah.
you know what? I guess you could say that. Right?
Because some women, if you're doing this all the time to other women, they get offended by that.
Okay, but
Right.
But the other half of it, here comes my tap dance. Like I'm legitimately like I'm
Touchy-feely.
I'm just a touchy feely person.
I
give normal pound and pull them in like, what's up, bro? What's
You're
up, babe? Blah, blah,
Aries.
blah.
That's what y'all
so
do.
so that's it.
Yeah.
What Norm is talking about is the feeling of disrespect. Let's not try to dance around the fact that there are people that are disrespectful, and you can feel that in the core of your soul. If Kiss is laying next to somebody and he's talking that type of way, that's not the same thing as hey Jackie. Hey,
He should have went in the bathroom.
Right. So
I'm just saying.
so that type of selfishness and lack of empathy is a sign that you should leave. Now, a lot of people are afraid to be alone. A lot of people feel like this is what they deserve.
Yeah.
A lot of people feel that if you say that I have value, then that somehow equates to being arrogant.
Yeah.
Because that's the society that we live in.
Right.
Which is if I stand up for myself, listen, if someone is disrespecting you, it is better for you to be alone. Because when you're alone, you hear from God. So let's not gloss over the fact that people act in very disrespectful, cowardly ways.
Okay, so
you
I'm
have to
gonna say
address
this.
that.
And
So
we're
you
gonna
had a
address
post.
that.
But you had a post. I want you to find that post with what's the girl that used to date Kanye?
Amber Rose.
Oh,
Yes, he had a post. I want you to see if you can find that post because she said something in that post that to me is very valid. What got us thinking about this topic.
Right.
That's why I need you to find that, and then we're gonna read some comments. Oh, we got a caller.
we got to call, and then we're gonna read some comments on the check-in. Caller from the 347. State your name when you're calling from. You're on the Man Cave Morning Show. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. This is Eugene Bussey from Atlanta. How's it going?
Hey, what's up, my brother?
Good morning.
From the ATL. Bang, bang.
What's going on? What's your take on what we talking about, man?
Yeah, I wanted to chime in on that. You know, I had a direct incident that relates exactly to what you're talking about. My ex-wife. Okay, she kept her ex too close, and sometimes it could be the fault of the parents that they have a relationship with your ex, so they kind of bring them around or whatever. But it was a combination of both. Whereas, the family would have a cookout, he would show up. It's the holidays, and I got me, my mother, and my child, and my best friend. He show up at the crib. I remember distinctly one of the worst incidents that really just set it off was we in the house sitting for her parents out of town, and the doorbell rings 11 o'clock at night. We in bed. I'm like, okay, cool. She gonna go to the door. It's her parents' house. And after a while, she don't come back. I go to the top of the stairs. She at the door having this low-key conversation with her ex.
Wow.
So I'm like, that's enough for me. And never gave me the respect. It's one thing if you introduce me to your ex and say, all right, this is, but it was never even that. It was always like he would show up. It was just like he was there. Never the respect of saying, this is my husband.
That's disrespectful.
Yeah, that is.
That's disrespectful.
Can I ask you a question, Eugene? How long did you put up with this type of behavior? And I'm not judging you. I'm just asking because I'm curious.
This went on for about a year because the incidents were that last one with the conversation at the door was like the main thing that really took me over the top.
Right.
The most subtle one was at the cookout. All right, that was a distant thing, open park or whatever, but it went from the cookout to Christmas at the house to showing up at the house 11 o'clock at night and having this conversation at the door.
Let me say this to you because I've been in that position because I have been married a couple of times. So I've been in that position where I was married to my second husband, and it was Christmas. His ex-wife comes over to the house. We were at his parents' house. She came over, brought a dish, and chilled. She and I didn't even communicate. We didn't speak. They had children together. Their children, one of their kids was grown, and the other one was on her way to being out of the house. So why are you here? You understand? So that to me, that's when the husband or the wife to that ex need to say, listen, we are family because we have a common denominator, which are the children. But you can no longer come to family functions. We are not an item anymore. I have to respect my mate. And that's where a lot of people, I call it, they want to sit on a fence.
Yeah.
They want to sit on a fence, and they don't want to make the ex mad. They don't want to have the husband or wife mad. I say, screw the ex. Let him or her be mad. You have a wife or a husband that you are obligated to. What's wrong with people?
And you know what? Let me piggyback off that.
Please.
It's funny because I remember my nephew was having a Super Bowl party. So his wife, very cool, very respectful, was still sort of friends with my ex.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So she knows I'm married now, and you know what I'm saying, and the whole nine. And she actually called me up. My nephew's wife called me up and said, I just want to ask you, is it okay that I invite,
XYZ,
your ex so-and-so
to
the house for the Super Bowl party? You know what I'm saying? Because she hit me up and whatever like that. She want to come through, haven't seen her in a minute, blah, 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 blah. If you're not okay with it, then I won't invite her.
Respect. Let's respect.
So I was like, you know what? And then I actually talked to my wife about it.
As you should have.
And she looked at me like, Negro, did you even have to ask me that? Like, she gave me the look like, and sometimes when a woman right about something, when a woman's right, with the looks, and when they cut you that eye, like, did you even have to ask me that? Right. I don't know. What's the purpose? Why is she coming?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
type
is this
thing.
a rhetorical question?
And so I went back to my niece and was like, I don't know, but you know what? Then I left it on her. Check this out. I said, it's your house, it's your place. I said, do you? But me, so when we got there, whatever like that, I spoke to her. She said, you know what? I didn't even go there.
I didn't respond.
I didn't respond. I didn't hit her back, whatever like that.
Good kudos for your niece because she don't want to get involved in that stuff because that's messy.
Yeah.
Let me talk to Gene before he gets off the phone.
No doubt.
Gene, you asked Gene Flamethrower how long.
Yes.
Listen, I'm a proponent of unconditional love, meaning I love you despite how I feel. Okay? Now, because I realize that love is more than just a feeling, or because feelings fade and you may like me today and not like me tomorrow. The inverse of that, right, is that when you see signs like Gene was seeing, when his spider senses were going off, just his internal chronometer like, something's not right about this, I will fall back because look, Jay, I love you. Look, Kiss, I love you, blah, 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 blah. But that goes to a certain point. Have I been burned? Do I got PTSD? Do I have some really retarded stories?
Right.
I do. Maybe if I could find a way to crouch them so it doesn't incriminate anybody. But let me say this. When you sense something, And at 47 years old, I listened to my gut. Whereas before, because maybe I felt like I wasn't worthy to have you, right? Maybe I felt like, it was just me. Listen, right now, I go with my gut. And if my gut tells me something, we're going to start communicating. Now, if in the communication, I hear something, I'm going to keep it 100 as someone whose marriage fell apart. If in that communication, I hear something that I don't like, it's a serious, I cannot stress to you, serious problem. Because guess what? There are no victims, only volunteers. I'm a grown-up. If you don't want to be with me, then that's what you say. What you're not going to do is string me along. So if in our conversation, I sense that you're not with it, I'm going to go ahead and do us both a favor.
Right.
Like me and Norm was discussing a couple of weeks ago about when women give me ultimatums. Baby, you can discuss something with me, but there is no ultimatum. The answer to that will be is I'm out. Right? Because of my past experiences and my senses. Listen, be clear. Do not let this conversation get twisted on why disrespectful people justify their behavior. If you are in a relationship, then there's a degree of decorum and respect and communication that goes along with that. And with age, you start to smell it. And so with Gene, now in moving forward, trust me, the amount of time that went on from that first disrespect to that second to that third is like this. But then we get called bitter. Then we get called bitter
no doubt.
by women.
No doubt. And let me say this, bro. The moment when, like you said, was having a cookout or whatever the case may be, and the ex showed up and she having that little sidebar conversation with the ex, whatever.
Man, listen.
And she didn't even introduce.
Yeah, that's crazy.
She even introduced you.
She's telling you what you need to know.
Yeah, that's all you really need to know.
She made the decision.
I would have took that
I ain't gonna lie to you. I'd have been hot under the collar.
I would have. Matter of fact, I would have bounced. Was it her place or y'all place?
They was at
Gene.
They was at at night.
It was at a regular, just an open park.
Open park.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I would have bounced, bro.
I would have left.
I would have bounced. I was like, y'all enjoy yourselves. I would have brought the brother over a piece of chicken.
Yeah, but I see why his breaking point was the last situation, because
like this.
you in a park, so you dealing with people, but the minute you leave me in bed to go downstairs and carry on the conversation and don't even have any regard for the fact that I'm upstairs, what's taking you so long? And
First of all,
we don't do that.
Let's talk about
That's
the
crazy.
elephant in the room.
What's
Okay,
that?
let's talk about this.
What's that?
Why didn't you go answer the door? See, she should have sent you to the door. You're the man. It's 11 o'clock at night. You don't know who's at that door. And granted, you guys were house sitting, and I'm not judging you. You guys were house sitting. That right there is shady. She should have said, babe, can you go see who's at the door? It's 11 o'clock. I'm not expecting anybody. So she was being shady from the door.
Right.
But you
I'd
know
been
what
out.
though? In Gene's defense, what I hear is a brother that loved his woman.
No, I'm
And
not.
you follow what I'm saying? No. So
what's love got to do with it?
Okay.
But he did say that it happened several times, and that was his breaking point.
Because it's mass. That's mad disrespect
General.
on all levels.
Can I say this to you? To me now, absolutely. But there have been in times past that I had to learn what General was saying. Listen, as a man and as a sensitive man.
Yeah.
Right now, bruh, I takes no shorts. I can't even, my words escape me.
I got
That
you.
is how passionate and angry I get. Listen, as a man, you gonna respect me and I'm gonna respect you and I'm gonna project that. But in times past,
it was different.
General, in time, well, maybe, what you call me? Simp, L7, whatever?
Yeah.
L7 simp, you know what I mean? L7 simp squared.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? But that had to do with my self-esteem. Look, and this retarded notion of love. That's not love. That's the people. No, if I love you, then I'm gonna let you walk all over me.
Right.
You follow what I'm saying? A lot don't act like people don't feel like that.
Totally.
Until you learn, like, oh, it's like that, babe.
I'm gonna tell you guys.
It's like that.
So
and we got to reach.
Listen. I feel exactly what you're saying, and believe me, I'm with you. It don't take but a minute now, to turn on the signal like, hey, this something ain't right.
Canceled.
Right.
But let me tell you where it ended up at. We went to court and for child support. She shows up at court with another child with my name on the birth certificate.
What?
It wasn't your kid?
So I had to take a blood test for them to, and I was already out the picture because I had left.
That is a
but she showed up and put my name on this child's birth certificate that I was long gone.
Wow.
Oh yeah, you just caught it.
You
just messed
that
with.
bullet.
Yeah, you just messed with the wrong one, man.
Yeah.
She just wasn't right for you, bro. And you know what? I'm glad.
That's
you pulled out. That's a lesson learned.
Thank
You
God
pulled out
he's
this
no longer with
situation.
that person.
While you could.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's crazy.
Gene, tell her I said go with God.
Wow. Thank you so much for calling
Thanks
in.
for calling in.
And
Respect,
sharing your
Gene,
story. We
respect.
appreciate it. So all of you guys can call in and share these stories because we're not going to be able to read all your comments. But if you have a story, please call in 646
233
1302.
Thank you so much.
No doubt. And let's read some comments.
Let's read these comments.
Let's take it back and thank you. We got a lot of comments
Oh
to
my God.
catch up on.
You want me to do it?
Go
ahead,
Kiss.
Okay.
Go ahead, Kiss.
So we have a comment from Latanya Smith. She says relationships takes two people, not one person being faithful and the other person acting single. Cheating is a selfish act.
Yes.
Danielle Spencer goes on and says people change when what they no longer do serves their purpose. Was it a person who didn't go for the selfishness that caused you to change?
Right.
Wow. That's a good question. That's a very good question. Go ahead. You want to read some more?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Danielle Spencer also says, yes, I have to think of what I would want to do. Wait.
Yeah, no, it's difficult, right?
Yeah, right. Think of
jumping.
Well, she said, yes, I have to think of what I would want them to do to me. But discussion beforehand or correction should an activity occur, I think that's effective.
Yes, totally understood. Effective. Yes. Yes.
Let's read Deborah Holland.
Deborah.
Okay.
And good morning, Stephanie Diaz.
Yeah, she put a lot. Hold on one
Good morning,
second.
Suzette.
I'm trying to get to that. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Cuzzo.
Just looking at
John Booth.
Okay, I got it.
Got it?
Yeah. It says Deborah Holland. She says, I'm married and we both still act single but with each other. We are both still sexy and most of the times we get a second look from most people. King respects all women like queens and he hugs them as well and salutes the queens that he's known for a lifetime with a kiss on the cheek.
Okay.
And I have absolutely no problem with that. Our relationship is solid as a rock. We still go out, but sometimes King doesn't want to go out, and I go out with my friends, but I know how to carry myself like a married woman who is still in love, and he knows that, so it's not a problem for him. Okay, respect and kudos to you, both of you, for still looking at each other and saying that we are married, but together we can be single but with each other. A lot of times that doesn't work for people.
Right, especially when
a lot of times that don't work for people.
You have to be very secure to be able to handle that.
Yes, and
your spouse has to agree to what Kiss said.
Yeah,
it can't be you feel like this and your mates feel like that.
Right.
Yeah, so and get let's talk about why a lot of people may feel that they are single even when they're married, because you'll see, and this is no dig for the men, but women love jewelry, right? So you give us a diamond, we don't care if you have to use a magnifying glass to see it. We're going to be like, he gave me a ring. A woman to give a guy a ring, or he's married, he'll constantly take it off, put it in his pocket, and then he'll come home and she'll be like, where's this ring? You're an exception.
Yeah, because fat grew around my wing. I can't even take this mug off if I wanted to.
And then it's a lot of men who don't even wear rings when they're married because they're like, why should I wear a ring?
Yeah.
I'm married. I know I'm married. But they'll have that mentality like, I don't need to wear my ring. I know I'm married and I ain't dead. I still look. That type of thing.
Right, right.
You know, so for us as women, it's kind of like a double-edged sword sometimes, because a lot of times a man can go and do XYZ, and when he comes, if a woman does it, he automatically, she gone, it's out.
Flamethrower.
Like, it's done.
Flamethrower for men and for women. Ring or no ring. Do me a favor. If you don't want to be married, it's so simple.
Don't be married.
It is so it's so simple. Listen. If you want to be single, General, freaking be single.
Yeah.
All of this other rah-rah we talking about, nah, dude. If you want to see other people and stuff, do that.
Yeah.
Do not bring another person who's genuinely caring about you into your madness.
Yeah.
Your low self-esteem, your sexual whatever is your problem. I'm not judging nobody.
Yeah.
As grown adults at this point, if you want to be single, rock out.
Yeah.
If you want to be married, miss me with the rest of with men do it and that, this and that. No. Men and women, stop.
Yes, and this is what I don't understand. Make me understand this. All right, just like he said, you know what marriage is, what marriage entails, right?
Stupid.
So, yeah, my whole thing is, if you're taking the time to plan a wedding, get married, and go through all these steps, I know people that get married and then the next day they wilding out.
Yeah.
Why get married?
I've seen it.
For real.
And then the next day you wild out. Like, why you
for what?
You fall in love with the ideal of getting married.
Right.
Yeah.
But the whole purpose of getting married, you're supposed to marry someone that, look, I want to spend the rest of my life with this person. You know what I'm saying? I only see you. I only feel you. You know what I'm saying? We're connected. We have some type of connect. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to make this thing work. With any relationship, there's going to come highs and lows.
Yes.
There's going to be highs and lows. You know what I'm saying? And my whole thing is, because I see this so much, and that's why I'm glad we're talking about this topic, is that people that get married or in a serious relationship or whatever still have walking around with that single mindset.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you said, oh, I'm out the house now. Let me take off the ring. Or, you know, really turn it up on how they dress because they're going to hang out with their boys or they're going to hang out with their girls. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or whatever like that.
Yes.
And it's like, come on now. You know, at what point do you cross that line of disrespect?
Yeah.
At what point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are a lot of disrespectful people and a lot of disrespectful people that justify their behavior. This is just facts. Now, it is on you to really observe the person that you want to be in a relationship with. It's not good to say, oh, I fell in love, I got married.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
what you need to do is observe someone under stressful situations. You need to see what a person's tendencies are. You need to see a person when they don't think you're looking. I'm not talking about spying, but you need to really, really observe, because listen, I'm not judging anyone, but if that's not for you, don't link your star to a cruddy person. Look, it's cruddy people in the world, and you got a right. Listen, watch this. You could be a cruddy person, and then somebody do some dirt from you, then you go aha, and then you change. Check this out. I'm no longer the person that you're going to discover that you shouldn't have did wrong by. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not here to save the world. You understand? I try to do good, try to keep my head on straight or whatever. People are in different places. But if you're going to be in a relationship with somebody, you have to start observing the type of character they have. Watch this. If they're not spiritual, right? Look, if they're overly materialistic, right? If they're a lightweight, if you hear the bull crap they talk about in their conversation and they're not talking about nothing, but they look good though, they drive a nice car or whatever, then the responsibility is on you to say, wait a minute.
Right.
Wait a minute. I don't think this is something I want to get involved with. Now, if I see all of those things and then I still get involved with it, whose fault is that?
Right.
That's my fault.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna clap that up.
Well,
And let's read some comments. You got a lot of comments.
Okay. Let's go back.
You want me to start?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Chris was gonna say something
after
that,
Deborah was Danielle.
Yeah, no, I'm going to read something from Vereen.
Gotcha.
Vereen Brown, she said...
Good morning, Vereen.
Good morning. She said,
Hey, V.
single is safe. It's a choice. It's a shortage of good men. I'm not dealing with ex or drama. Clap that up.
Yeah.
Yes, totally. We understand. So Love Nix said, the answer to today's question for me is he talks louder. The other part, if you are ex and you still have interaction, too much energy goes into that. So my key words, let go. Facts.
Agreed.
True indeed.
Yeah. Facts.
Some women though wouldn't recognize a good man if he had good tattooed on his chest.
Good morning, Julie G.
Thank you for bringing it back to the man cave.
Yes.
And I wanted to address
Good
what
men.
Latanya said. Latanya says some people are getting married for the wrong reasons, and I was just going to step in
Go ahead.
and say exactly that.
Yes.
People are getting married nowadays just to be able to say that they have someone to call their own, and I think that that's petty as all hell. Because at the end of the day, like people have this big misconception with, if you're in a relationship and you call someone your boyfriend, you call someone your girlfriend, you call someone your fiance, whatever it is, it's a relationship.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it any less because you're not married, you don't have a ring, there's no papers, whatever the case is. The same respect that you have with your boyfriend, or the same respect that you have with your fiance or your husband or your wife, should be respected in every level. But nowadays,
but people don't think that.
Right, people are not thinking that way nowadays. Like I was raised, coming from days where you were in a relationship and you matched your little outfits and you're corny and you're doing these things together.
Yes.
Nowadays, you don't see too much of that. Now it's strictly like, okay, yeah, I got my man, I got my girl, but there's all these reasons. Oh, but I'm bored. Oh, but she's not doing what she used to. Oh, but he's not attentive. Oh, but this and oh, but that. So if that's the case, leave it alone.
Yeah.
Why still stay in a situation and then invite someone else into the process, or go out and say, well, I'm bored, so now I need variety. Oh, but no, she's cool with it. No, because half the time she don't even know what the hell you're doing, or vice versa.
Yeah.
And then we go back and forth about men and women, and what and all these comparisons. But it's like at the end of the day, we can't sit here as women and say, well, I did it because he did it.
Right.
Or he can't say, well, I did it because I feel like she's trifling. No, you did it because it's in your nature to cheat. Or you did it because it's in your nature to just have more than one person in a relationship because you don't know how to commit.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
Disrespectful boyfriend.
And then you're going to get married and do the same shit? Like you're going to get married and do the same shit.
If you can't be loyal, Kiss is so right. If you can't be loyal as a boyfriend, you're not going to be loyal as a husband. Miss me with that. We all grown.
Yeah.
Stop.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
The point is, if you're not happy in your situation, then just leave. If
Agreed.
you want to be single and you want to, date whoever, that's your prerogative. Do what you got to do, but why string somebody along and then end up hurting that person in the process and making them all jacked up, and then they go out and do exactly what you did and worse.
Now you've created a monster.
Exactly.
Right.
And the avalanche begins.
Yes. And the world is a less better place.
Shout out to everybody with the comments, man.
Go ahead, Noah.
Just showing some love. Junie G.
Yes.
Shout out to Julius Gray. Let's read Junie G's comment.
Okay. Folks don't want to put in the work for marriage. They're only concerned with the optics, what their lives look like to others, but they're unhappy and doing each other dirty behind the scenes.
Exactly.
What?
Exactly.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
Yep.
So I want to say that we're gonna go. So when I first started dating my husband, he had this tendency to always hug people a little too long. Mainly females. Hug them a little too long. I remember an incident. We were in Elizabeth, and we were I think it's backwards. They're downtown, is they're uptown, whatever. We was down in the shopping area. So this female comes up, and I'm always the one to walk away. I'm not insecure. I'm secure with myself. So you have your conversation. It doesn't matter to me.
Right.
I'll see you over here. But this particular day, it was where for me to go. I was just standing there, and it was somebody that he hadn't seen in such a long time, but he was holding on to her for dear life. I didn't say anything. Then I waited and I said, let me ask you something. I said, because I'm just curious, is that the norm for you? When you see, no pun intended, norm, like, is that the norm for you to embrace women and hold on to them that, that
whole time
3 seconds too long where you should let go?
Yeah.
I give people pats and I be like, okay, enough.
My wife will tell you in a second.
Yeah.
When I see her greeting dudes or whatever like that, I give hugs. Come here. When she see a dude, whatever. Like, she did that one time we went to Miami with the actor dude with the little pretty light eyes, Richard Rashad, whatever. Yeah. Dude, whatever like that. I was like, oh, you give hugs, huh? That's what's good. That's what's good.
I'm wondering,
I give hugs too, Negro.
Should I have been offended? I did speak to him about it. And I said, hey.
What did he say?
Oh, we have a call? Do we have a call?
Yes, caller from the 732. State your name where you calling from. You're on the Man Cave Morning Show.
Bang, bang.
Storm and Norman, what's good? It's Milkbone.
Milkbone.
Good
My dude, salute. What's going on,
Good
fam?
morning.
Man, you know I got to touch on this topic.
Let's go. Let's get it.
And I tried typing it, but I kept hitting the wrong button, and it was just sending it too early. You'll see.
Can't stand your ass.
But yo, listen. I was married, and the main thing that I always said, and we always agreed with, and I emphasized all the time, we could disagree and argue about money, kids, family, jobs, friends, all of that, because all of that could be worked out.
Right.
But not when you involve somebody else. When there's another person that gets in the picture, there's no discussion.
Right.
There's no discussion.
Right.
I don't deal with that. That's why you see these people going back to their exes, get involved in the same shit.
Yep.
Come on, man.
Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
Facts.
And there's levels of disrespect. But disrespect is disrespect. So I get you 100%. As soon as
I don't care who you are. You don't get trust back.
Yeah,
Agreed.
exactly.
Agreed.
Exactly.
You don't get that back.
You do not.
Yeah.
So why go back? You broke the trust. I can't go back.
But
go
he
with
hit
God.
it on the head. Yeah. Financial situations, we could work with that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
These type of little arguments here and there.
Especially when you're in that oath, when you decide to take that oath, whether you're male to male, female to female, male to female, it doesn't matter. If you devote something, you better devote it.
Right.
You better devote it, good or bad, work it out, but don't go elsewhere.
True indeed. Indeed. And you know what? It's funny now. I see a lot of microwave marriages now, bro.
Oh yeah.
Where people they run at the first sign of a simple problem or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And they forget the whole vows and you know what I'm saying, what marriage is really supposed to be about, of something of substance.
Yeah.
You know, and the first sign of a little problem, they run. And like you said, if it doesn't involve another person, we could fix anything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Those are the marriages that I call Nutrisystem.
Yes.
Because if you ever read a Nutrisystem box, you could have a whole big giant ass chicken with macaroni and everything. You only got to heat it up for 1 minute, and you can't freeze it. How does that make sense? You're ready to eat in 1 minute a whole meal? Come on, man.
No doubt, my dude. Appreciate you calling in, fam.
Yo, let me know when you want me to come up there and lace something for you.
Yo, please, bro. It's time. On the real, it's time.
It definitely it's past time because I'm not Takashi, man. I don't do that.
All right, my dude. I'm gonna hit you up.
All right, dude.
All right,
let me add on to Bone. Like, for me, right? Marriage is, it's a very serious thing. I feel that it's sacred. It's a serious thing. Okay, you call me old fashioned, whatever. Listen, marriage I'm talking about giving my life. You know what I mean? I'm talking about if somebody come to the door and they got something hot, I'm gonna catch it so you can live. This is the type of things that go through my head. You understand me, ladies? So now, I'm not perfect by no means, but with that in mind, you out here with some straight ding-a-ling, dude. Listen, ain't no victims here. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Give me the option. Now when you come to me, ladies, in truth, what the option is going to be. I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that a lot of people, like the brother said, this microwave, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're supposed to really become one flesh. Mm-hmm. It is no problem if you're not ready for it. Now, here's the second issue. If you get into the marriage and you discover, I'm not ready for it,
right,
that's okay too. But be woman enough and be man enough to say, listen, I'm not ready for this. So we're going to have to just go ahead and go our separate ways.
You should know that from the jump before you even get married.
I agree. Now,
why waste time? You're going to waste my money and my dress.
Listen.
And a ring that I'm just going to end up putting in the drawer. Please.
Listen, I agree with you. You understand what I'm saying? But not everyone sees things the way I see them and the way things you see them. So what I'm saying is this. If you are in that situation, right, when you really know in your heart you're not really meant to be married or whatever, man up or woman up, instead of continually to create that bad karma.
Right.
That shit is going to come back on you.
Karma.
And guess what? And it's going to affect your kids. And then you're going to be like, then you're talking about you bitter and what people don't do for you and stuff like that. Now you're starting, to hurt people. No. Have the courage to be the adult to say I outgrew, I didn't understand, I made a mistake, and go in peace. It is when you stay and continue to drag people, or you're the look, you're the pastor of the church. And you screwing your you follow me?
Right.
No, real talk. No, but let's keep it 100, man.
I see that.
Stop.
I see that a lot.
We all grown here.
I see that a lot, and that's the whole thing. Like it goes back to what I say, and I'm so redundant about this, but make better choices.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Really think about your choices.
Yeah.
Stop jumping in the
jumping
that you know you really ain't ready for.
Can I tell you something?
And dragging other people along with your ish.
Because you ain't ready, and you knew you wasn't ready.
I walked away. I said, at that particular point in time, I was ready. I know I was ready, but I wasn't ready for the part of his really not being ready. He said he was ready, but we were single. We lived together, but we did everything like we were roommates. That wasn't a marriage for me. So I sat him down one day and I said, I think what we need to do is we need to get a divorce. No separation.
Right.
We need to get a divorce because I knew it wasn't going to work. And I said, and I will move out. I moved out. I left there. You keep everything. I'm out. I'll take my clothes. He even kept a car that it was my car, but it was in his name because I had traded in a car to get that car, and they put it in his name. It was like that bait and switch thing. So when I left with the clothes I can carry, and that was it. I didn't even have a car, so I left.
So let me ask you. I'm gonna ask you this by a show of hands.
Yeah.
How many of us here grew up in a 2-parent household? I did.
I don't consider my stepfather my father, even though he was a stepdad.
Right.
He was
So I
just
did.
My dad wasn't. Yeah.
And I'm gonna come back to this. And let me take this
by the
call.
time I was born.
Yes.
I'm gonna take this call and then I'm gonna come back. Caller from the 201. State your name when you're calling from. You're on the Man Cave Morning Show. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Caller
Hello. Okay.
from the 201.
Caller from the 201.
They're calling back. Caller from the 201. State your name where you calling from. You're on the Man Cave Morning Show.
Hello?
Hello?
Can I ask you a question?
Oh, Lord. Here go the jokes.
Do you know where babies come from?
Baba Booey, Baba Booey, Baba Booey. Drop the call. Let's keep pushing.
Call drop.
Wow. Do you know where babies come from? Is that what they said?
I could answer that, but
you know what?
Anyway, click. There's some jokesters in the world, boy. When you got a number that you can call anywhere worldwide, you can call this number anywhere you at in the world.
I'm not gonna lie, I used to do that shit all the time. I used to call radio station, but like asking for pizza and dumb just because I could call.
Listen.
So getting
Do you
back
know
to what
where
I was saying.
babies come
Yes,
from?
go ahead,
That was good.
Yes.
Getting back to what I was saying. So I was raised up in a 2-parent household.
Okay.
So I got a chance to see a marriage
Yeah.
at its highest points and at its lowest points and then at its middle points.
Yeah.
But sometimes we become, I became my environment.
Yes.
So I saw my mother and father, whatever like that, no matter what they experienced and what they went through, they worked it out. They pushed through it. They had endurance, and the only thing that ended their marriage was his death.
That right there makes me want to cry because
Yeah.
I didn't
I
have
saw my
that.
grandparents do that.
Yeah.
Both
I didn't have
sets.
that. I saw my grandparents, my
sets.
great aunts
Rock
and
out like
uncles,
that.
my godmother and godfather, but to actually feel that and see that one-on-one, I don't know what that is.
I didn't
That's
listen
what
to much
made
of that
me
either.
want to get married.
But see, that was my
We got
whole
a caller?
point. And even though, and I talked about this before, but even though I've been married, this my third and my last marriage.
Yes.
Like the first time again, because she got pregnant with my son, blah 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 blah. Mother wasn't letting her
Of
in the
course.
house unless we got married. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And we were young.
Because, back then it
And
was
we were
different.
young.
Yeah.
All right. Second time, infatuation from school. She asked me, you know what I'm saying? I said yes, blah, 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 blah. Wasn't ready, but that whole infatuation
Yes,
thing.
of course.
you
It
know,
took over.
It took over. When I got older, late 30s, 40s, whatever, I was ready for something real.
Yeah.
And I used to have a lot of conversations with my mother about my father and this and this and that. And my mother would always say, your father was a good man. My family thought he was a good man.
Yes.
There's things that he did,
Yeah.
outside of me for my family
Yes.
that showed he was a good man. I never thought about stepping out. Even though
That's commendable.
Even though when we went through our roughest times.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I had great examples around me.
Yeah.
So
Let me clap that up
sometimes,
for the good example.
sometimes if you don't have good examples around me,
yes,
you actually become your environment.
Facts.
So if you have bad examples around you all the time, you know, of what love is, what love is supposed to be, what a relationship is supposed to be, and that's all you got to draw from.
Yeah, I mean, I
that
think
becomes you.
It kind of, I think it kind of works both ways. Like for me, I grew up. My mom raised me. My mother raised me and my sister. Single parent. I was gonna say she don't need no man. But my father was always in and out. You know, my father was in and out. He had his other kids and all that stuff. Did he love me and my sister any less? No. But I grew up seeing firsthand that there was issues from the jump. You get what I'm saying? So like I came into a situation, I was born, my parents, if I'm not mistaken, were already divorced. I actually wasn't even supposed to be here. But my mom decided to still have me despite the fact that the marriage was over. So, you know, you come into a situation where you see your father every now and again. You constantly see your mother. And I saw my mother go through all the things that, you know, some women go through with, you know, with relationships and, you know, being insecure in herself and not really feeling like she was enough to be loved and all these things. But it still never gave me the perception that because my environment was so jacked up in a sense.
Yes.
That's how that I was going to become that. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
I always had this sense of, well, I want to have better, not better than what my mom had, but like show her that it can get better, or I can have a good relationship one day and not have what you and dad had, or whatever situation was. So you don't always end up becoming like, you know, a product of your environment. It depends on your own views and your own.
No, you're right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I see how that can also.
But I see a lot of examples.
Of course,
Let me right though.
Let me speak directly to our demographic.
Okay.
Because we have grown in sexy demographic. Okay, so I would agree that spiritually, how you come into the world, whether you were the result of like I'm a shotgun marriage, right? My grandfather put a pistol in my father's mouth and was like, "Run that." So I get all this. Literally is true.
Wow.
That's literally the case. So while I would agree that spiritually the milieu and the environment that you grow up in informs you, okay. That being said, everyone here is grown, okay. We all have experiences and we all know and we all have to take accountability for what we're doing.
Right.
Listen, you know, right? If you're not built for built for marriage, check this out. 2 years, 3 years, you want something else.
Right.
2 years, 3 years, you want some more dingling. 2 years, 3 years, you want some more vagina. Whatever. That's fine, right? Don't let anyone pressure you into you gotta get married, you gotta get this. Not everyone is built for marriage,
right?
Because marriage is sacrifice.
Absolutely,
right? Marriage is sacrifice, it's drudgery, misery, it's unfair, and it's also great beauty.
Marriage is supposed to be unselfish too.
Right, exactly. Right. So the world is in your marriage, right? Like I said, boredom, sacrifice, love. When you're married, you have the potentiality to be the most complete and the most close to God that you've ever been, right?
Yeah.
You can also have the potentiality to go straight to hell in a handbasket. So it's a powerful thing. But what I'm saying to the grown folk, the people that we talk to in our audience, not the kids, if you're not built for marriage, say that.
Yeah.
Don't keep bouncing from this to that to this to that, hurting other people. That's bad karma. Don't do that.
Yeah. So I facts, agree, got it. So I want to read some of the comments that are in here because we don't want to be remiss.
Yeah, we're gonna read some of these
think
comments.
that we're not going to read them like we normally do. It's a lot in here because this is a great topic. So Janice Maxine Brooks, she says,
"Hey Janice,
yes, Norman, so true. Been together with my husband 33 years, married 29. Stay strong, okay? Because you said you weren't gonna get divorced. It's your last one. You're gonna work through it. So she's saying, yeah, work through that. Junie G, honesty and communication, open up, saves marriages. And even when I can't save sanity, be courageous. Yes, Dawood.
Yes.
Okay. So Julius Gray said BKS1 equals transparency. Facts.
All day,
okay?
every day.
Latanya, she said some people have signs before the marriage. Ignore them and get married anyway.
Yeah.
Facts.
Facts.
Okay. Facts.
Ding, ding,
okay?
ding, ding, ding. That would be me.
Then we're going to go Vereen Brown. She said, one-on-one as one is amazing. Don't take me for granted. People take you for granted.
True.
My hero passed away, and I wish I had told him my best times were with him. Okay.
Respect.
So I get it and I understand. And let's see. I think Junie G says sometimes people can live in a marriage, be in a marriage with their children. And it could be the worst thing for them because they see the discord,
Yes,
they see the drama,
yes,
they see the backbiting.
Yes.
So she was saying sometimes it's better just to be like, hey, listen, you go your way, I go my way. The kids, they can come here, even if we co-parent, but we can't do this together because we're doing them a disservice.
Right.
And this is why I know a lot of people get divorced too, because it will affect the kids.
Let's read Suzette Crawford's comment right here.
It's funny.
Yes.
It's funny that you mentioned a two-parent home. I believe it makes a difference in the individual's expectation. If you see your mom and dad with a sustainable relationship, you expect the same.
Yes.
Agreed.
Yes, you can expect that. But I know a lot of people who came from a two-parent household and they never want to get married.
Right.
They said, no, it's not for me. And I wonder why that is.
But some, cause maybe they saw abuse.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe they saw, a real toxic
an abusive marriage,
relationship.
And they just stayed together for whatever reason because of rent.
Right.
Because it's hard out here. It's hard to be
Jay.
It's hard to be on your own. Let's just be honest here.
Jay.
Yeah.
You are,
Rent is high.
Jay, it is hard.
Yeah.
You understand? But as someone that left with my drawers and that's it.
Yeah.
Trust me, people, it's possible. Like you did.
Yeah.
When you was like, you know what? Even the car.
Yeah.
Right? My drawers and everything. Yo, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, I was like, I'm out.
So that's where spirituality, your spiritual life comes into play.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
That's all.
Facts.
That's all that is.
Yes. And no one knew. No one knew.
Right.
No one knew.
We're gonna read more comments. We got
yeah.
comments.
Yeah.
I see Chanel.
We got
Chanel, good morning.
Chanel, good morning. Chanel, good morning, Pastor Carr. We
sorry.
see you. She said Norm said three. She said Norm 3 times the charm. You did say this is your third marriage because I love Sandy.
Mrs. Gerald all day, every day.
I read Junie. Go ahead.
And then Joni G says two-parent household is great if everyone is happy. Kids do far better in a happy single-parent household than in a two-parent household that's full of bitterness and fighting.
I completely agree with that.
Yes.
I so agree with that.
Yeah.
Even though marriage. Listen, let me just say this. Sorry. A good, God-fearing marriage is the best that man and God has ever created. Let me say that again. A good marriage is the best possible of all scenarios. But a bad one, get away from that as fast as you can.
Right.
We have a caller?
Yeah, we got a caller. Caller from the 908. State your name when you're calling from. You on the Man Cave Morning Show.
Hey, good morning, guys. How you guys doing?
And we know that voice.
Everybody.
Good morning, sir.
It kind of made me jump.
What's up, Darth?
Yeah.
I am your father.
Usually I call in joking, but this is a very serious subject, so I'm just going to state my testimony and let this go. I've been married twice. My first marriage, I got married when I was young. I was a father, a husband, and an individual, and that was too much for me at that age of 24. My second marriage was a marriage that I knew I shouldn't have went into, but I did anyway. Let me tell you what I learned out of both of those situations. Now, my first wife is remarried, and I love her and her husband because they're both good people, both of them. My second situation is one that I'm dealing with bitterness from the woman, and to be honest with you, I think that it's turned me into a different person in reference to my mentality. If I was to hit the lottery right now today, my second bitter wife, I'd make sure she was well taken care of, whether we spoke again or not, because of the fact that we have a child together. And I've learned to not hold on to nonsense, like, the topics that you guys are talking about, trying to control the relationship. When I tell you that the peace of mind that has come to me is ridiculous since I got to the point where I didn't let it go. I didn't take it on. So if you don't take something on, there's nothing to let go of.
Right.
Like I said, my first wife and her husband, Love them both, and I'm not just saying that to get kudos. I love both of them. This guy was good to my daughters, and he's good to my ex-wife that I ruined that.
Respect.
I ruined that.
Honesty.
And as a man, you know what I mean? Maybe somebody listening need to hear it, or maybe I'm just saying it for you guys to hear it. Once I got to the point where I looked at that, you know what I mean, the marriage, even in my second marriage, knowing I shouldn't have went into it, so I made her bitter. Because if I would have never married her, and I'm not taking the responsibility like it's my fault, but what I'm saying is that you got to own up to your own stuff.
Yes.
And I'm at the point now, you know what I mean? I'm already married. I just haven't found her yet.
Right.
All right. I like that.
Right. I'm already married. I just haven't found her yet. But while I'm single, I'm single.
Yeah.
And once I do link up with her, my single life is over. No discussion.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I just wanted to chime in with you guys, man. You know, y'all keep doing y'all thing, and I'm out.
Thank you for calling.
All right, hey, bro, are you? The Dude Show is rocking out tonight, right?
Yes, sir. 8 to 10.
8 to 10?
Yeah, I'll be on 8 to 10.
All right, I'll be listening.
Ditto.
All right, I know you will. You're gonna set me up, but listen, guys, this is a very powerful, emotional subject y'all talking about, man. So you know, kudos to you guys too for just even being in the right spirit and right frame of mind to bring this forth.
We appreciate that.
Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
God bless.
Enjoy your Friday.
Did you hear what the brother said? He said, "Listen, I contributed to someone else's bitterness." That type of introspection, right?
Yeah.
That type of honesty and that type of love to say, "Listen, I did this, but I'm in a better place," right?
Yeah.
This is why we're here. This is why we have the platform that we have.
Yes.
And another one of my famous mantras, like, do not make an idol of your bitterness and of your suffering. Okay, you learn from it, right? But you're not controlled by it.
Right.
You're not motivated by the fact that you're bitter, because what you do is then what you create, you give birth to more bitterness, and then you become destructive.
Yes.
So in all these conversations, we're realizing there really are, as my daughter said, as I was crying one day about, that there's no victims. Right, so we're going to take responsibility. We're going to stay transparent. But from this, everyone in the sound of my voice, you are now responsible for the relationships that you have. Go ahead.
Right. No doubt. Salute. Kiss.
Yes.
You got comments?
Yes. We have a comment from Danielle Spencer. She says, "I still feel that women are looking for their daddies in these meaningless relationships because no one told them they are beautiful and they are worth waiting for a good man. They are trying to fill a void." Then Chanel interjected and said, "Sorry, but I ain't looking for my daddy. He was not on his ish. I got 16 brothers and one sister. I came out of awesomeness, respect, due to my mom, but I saw great men around my mom." Yep, I agree.
No doubt.
Okay.
Marriage is selfless.
Yes.
Can we get a show on looking for love? She got daddy issues.
She said, "I'm ready for marriage."
Next week.
No, real
Next
talk.
week.
Because listen. That's what I used to pray on. Women with daddy issues in my 20s, we getting laid Friday night, fellas. Like, yo, that's deep. And guess what? That karma has revisited me.
But
Wow.
you know what's so funny? I used to always, I think because people just got the whole idea twisted. When people always say, "Oh, that men should find somebody who they remind them of their mom and all this other stuff." Like, it's not as ancestral as you think. Like, I remember growing up, like I said, my dad was in and out. But my father was also my first love. So I always used to say, if I can't find someone that I love as much as I love my dad, that unconditional love, that no matter what you go through, no matter what we went through, that's me. That's my heart. You get what I'm saying? Not that you're looking for daddy, because I don't need no man treating me as if I'm their child.
When I say,
and I don't think a man wants that from me either. You get what I'm saying? It has to be a respect level there.
Yes. When I say daddy's issues, like Kiss just said, the first experience that a daughter has with love for a man is her father.
Yes.
So if you got a woman that has not experienced that type of unconditional love, if you got a man that hasn't experienced the love from his mother, we're not talking about nothing dirty, nothing whatever.
Right.
When I say daddy issues, you're talking about a woman that has not experienced love. It's unfamiliar with it, right? So she goes in the streets and she does what she does, and she equates sex with love, money with love, influence with love, power with love, abuse with love, whoop your ass with love. When you do have a father or a grandfather or an uncle or some man in your life to say this is what a man is, It's not abuse, but it's love. So what happens is a lot of women equate all of that foolishness with love, making them susceptible to people that used to prey on them. That's what I mean by that.
Yeah.
And it goes the other way around too, right? That's how whores are born. And dogs are born that way too.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
I just told us how whores are born.
I said it. Yes. Rewind the tape. Rewind the tape. I said it. And you
can get his new book, The Birth of Whores.
Look. My new book. Yes. Men are whores too. So relax.
I'm so done.
Right. Let's keep it pushing.
So freaking done. Yo.
Wow.
Okay, so we have to read a comment from Pastor Carr. Good morning, Pastor Carr. Marriage is serious and should never be entered into lightly. Honesty, transparency, respect, and communication is essential. Much can be said on this matter / topic.
Yes, let's clap it up.
Yes. Respect, Pastor. It's the man of God checking in.
Yes. Then we have another comment from Thomas Milbone, right?
Yes.
I raised 2 kids that ain't mine for 15 years. Their mom made up stories so they can accept the new jobless dude. It made it easy to pack a duffel bag and never look back. At least I don't got to see her phone lighting up with texts at 3 a.m. anymore. Slept the best day one.
Wow.
General.
Wow.
Next show,
Hilarious.
your new man ain't got no job. Lose my number.
Lose my number.
Caller from the 208. State your name where you calling from. Caller from the 208. State your name where you calling from. You're on the Man Cave Morning Show. Okay, you got to give us time to answer the call. You know what I'm saying? Because we running a live show.
Right.
Unless that was that person calling back asking where babies come from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for real.
Okay. Yes. So I understand, and I think when Dennis called in and he said that he was the one that screwed up. It takes a real good man to say I messed up, and if I could rewind the clock, I would do it all over again, and I would do it the right way. Because a lot of men don't take ownership with that. The first thing they say is, well, she did it. All the nagging, all of this, all of that.
Caller from the 207. State your name where you calling from. You on the Man Cave Morning Show.
Hello?
Jesus.
Let it rock.
Hi, this is your pharmacist calling. How are you today?
Let it rock. Let it rock. You should have let that rock.
Yo, what is going on?
You should have let that rock.
What? Lady, we're on the air.
Yeah, for real.
You know, so you understand what I'm saying?
The BKS1 pharmacist.
So
I'm sorry.
Even for me, when I sat my ex-husband down, I took ownership of everything that I did.
Right.
He never once said, well, I own up to this too. This is why this didn't work. This is why that didn't work. I took ownership in it. Like that was me putting my big girl panties on and saying I need to be transparent, because I wasn't transparent with him. Why? Because I was doing stuff that married people shouldn't do. I was living a single life while I was married. So I had to take ownership of all the wrong I did and become a better person.
I'm glad you took ownership. Number 2, when you ask someone about themselves, you catch them in a flaw, you catch them falling, and the first thing they do is have someone else's name in their mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Run.
Yeah.
Why did you lie? Well, you know what how come you cheat? Well, you know, girl, I can't.
Yeah.
Listen, when people can't take accountability for their own actions, that's a very destructive
Caller from the 919. State your name where you calling from. You're on the Man Cave Morning Show.
Hey, this is Chef Tiffany Blackman. I'm calling from Richmond, Virginia.
I was just getting ready to read her comment too.
Good morning.
Let's clap it up. Good morning, Chef.
Good morning, Chef.
Good morning. Good morning. So this topic is true to me, what you guys are talking about today. So when I met my first husband, didn't think it was going anywhere, but then we end up, going through a relationship, having a kid, then having another kid. Eventually we got married in like 2000. I was with this guy. He was the type of guy that he didn't want change. Everything was just, this is what it is and that's it. But his trueness and the love that he had was for his vehicle. It wasn't for his family. It was for his vehicle. Wow. Anything that happened to that vehicle, that would get paid first. So going through a relationship with him for 20 years, when I moved down to Richmond, I was like, I had enough. I moved to Richmond. I left him in Jersey.
Wow.
My brother brought him to where I was living at. and then he never left. So then I got stuck with him again for maybe three more years, and then I said, nah, I can't do this. I'm losing myself within a relationship that I don't even want to be in anymore, because you didn't treat me like the woman that I was for you. I gave you everything as a woman, even had 2 children for you, but you couldn't give me yourself as a man.
Wow.
You can't fix my car. You don't fix anything in the house. I mean, so, and sexually, I'm not attracted to you anymore, so what do I need you for?
Wow.
So I had to make the choice for myself and say, hey, Tiffany, you know, like you're staying in a relationship for who? Is it for yourself or is it for your children? And then I realized it was for the kids, because I didn't want to see my girls grow up without their father, because I didn't have to grow up without my father. My mom and dad was married up until the day he died. So I didn't have to be without my father, so I thought it was okay just to stay in something because of the kids. No, it's not.
No, that means you're settling.
You hurt yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
You're settling. You hurt yourself more.
Exactly.
So one day I just came home and I just packed up everything that belonged to me. And it so happened I was in culinary school at the time, and my professor had a loft that he needed to sublease because he bought a new house. And I said, would you mind if I sublease it? And I did that, and it gave me my independence for one, but it also gave me that freedom to understand who I was as a woman, and I grew, and I understood who Tiffany was.
You know what?
A lot of times in our relationship, we don't know who we are because we get stuck.
Yes.
And once you get stuck, you just get complacent and you just want to stay in it.
Yes.
Now,
okay.
I realized the day my daughter turned 16 years old, I said, I gotta go. Because if I don't go, then I'm gonna be stuck with this man for 50 years and trying to figure out who I am.
Yes.
But once I left and I got into my own, I realized who I was as a woman.
Right.
I didn't feel stagnated being in a relationship that I hated. It got to the point where I didn't even like the way you smell.
Wow.
Now, mind you,
I've been there.
Mind you, I'm making you sleep on the couch and I'm sleeping in my bedroom. And then if I come home and you're in my bed, I'm sleeping on the couch. That's not a good feeling to feel.
Nah, not at all.
So I was like, I gotta go. So I ended up getting a great job in North Carolina. I was like, I gotta go. I was like, as soon as they said, hey, we got this executive chef position in North Carolina, would you like to go?
So
I was out.
So chef, first of all, thank you for sharing that story. So let me ask you something. Let me touch on some points that you mentioned earlier. So one, basically, he was cheating on you with his car.
Right.
One, you know, he was more affectionate to his car than he was you. It sounds like also he didn't make you a priority in the relationship.
And not even just the car. His friends was the priority. I would call him and knew because like where we lived at, I could see. I lived in Hackensack. I don't know if anybody knew where Hackensack is.
Yes.
But I lived in Hackensack. So 2nd Street Park I lived on Berdan Place, and 2nd Street Park was around the corner, and I could pretty much see him from my house to the park. So I used to be like, so what you doing? Oh, I'm at work. I'm like, really? But him not knowing that I'm home from work and I can see your vehicle across the street at your boy house. So he not only cheated with me with the vehicle, he cheated on me with his friends.
Wow.
He would get money, if we did our taxes or whatever the case may be, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. Something's missing. I find out you giving your boys money, and I'm just like, but what do they do for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, the bromance.
They come to our house, eat up my kids' food. They come to our house and drink up our kids' juices. They come to my house and use up my utilities. Y'all all sitting around having a good old time, and I'm coming home from work saying, I know I took dinner before I left so the kids can eat when they got home from school. So where's the dinner? And find out your boys ate the dinner. So he not only just cheated on the relationship with the car, he did it with friends. It was like those things were more important.
Right.
So I had to step back and say, what's important to me?
Right.
So, okay. Go ahead, Will.
So this is a profitable conversation.
Yes.
Right. This is an excellent conversation because there are people within the sound of our voice that are in a relationship like this where the marriage is over, they separate, and then for convenience or whatever reason it is, that they come back together.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
what we need to take from this is that you really should not be together. Now, the people that are hearing my voice that are in this situation, it's resonating with them right now. It's a tightness in their chest, right? We have to have the courage to be honest with ourselves, to do what is best for ourselves first. You got to love yourself first, and then your children. First thing. Second of all, that was a boy. So any man that will feed his friends and not his children, or take care of his vehicle and not his wife, is not a man. Now, there's no slight, because God could intervene in that brother's life and he could find God and become a man, right? Yeah. But insofar as that first marriage to this sister was concerned, that wasn't the person that she needed to be with. And I applaud her for being able to recognize. I applaud her for being able to recognize that. Now, in moving forward, we don't do bitterness. We don't do guilt. We don't do revenge. We don't do shame. We release people. We love people, and we understand that people are going to be where they're at. At one point, you weren't where you are at. At one point, you weren't the most mature person in the world and didn't do the best things. So we're not going to be bitter towards the person, right? But we're going to recognize that it's time to skedaddle.
Yeah. So I can only imagine, because I know it's like, and people will judge you and say, well, why didn't you leave? You know, you there for 20 years. I would have never done that. Yes, you would have.
Exactly.
So cut it.
Exactly. And we do it because most of the time we do it because we want our kids to have their fathers. But in actuality, you're losing yourself within that relationship.
Exactly.
Now, I just recently got married in November. And the man I'm with now is 12 years my senior. That's a true man. He has 4 adult children. I have 5 adult children. And then between us, we have 9 grandkids. And let me tell you something. When I say a man, that's a man.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, like, when you think about a man with a husband, somebody that you're in love with, that person has to do it for you. Yeah. And that's how we are. We don't do nothing without each other. You know, me being a chef, and like I'm the executive chef over King's Dominion, so my hours are real crazy. And sometimes I'm like, today I go in late shift because the park is open today. So I'm going in later, so I won't even see him when he gets home from work. But in the morning time, because I know I'm working late, I get up with him at 4 o'clock in the morning because he's an electrician. So he has to be at his job at 6. So we get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and we eat together, we talk, we laugh, we go work out, and we do things together because those moments are important.
Yes.
Well, you know what, Chef Tiffany? Let me just say that all of us on this panel, we are very happy you found your peace.
Yes.
You have found your peace.
Right.
And that's what it's really about. And we definitely appreciate you calling in and sharing your story on the Man Cave Morning Show. So we're going to clap it up for you. And we got to read some of these comments. We appreciate you.
We appreciate you. Have a great
day. Thank you. Have a good day, guys.
You too.
All right. I'm sorry, Kiss.
No, it was funny. I was just getting ready to read her comment right before she called too. Yeah, I was just scrolling by it. Wait, I don't know how
right here.
Right there.
I got you.
Boom.
There you go.
Wait.
Yeah. No, hold it. And then we're going to address Pastor Carr.
Yes.
He had a great question.
Okay, he says, may I ask a direct question to the panel? I'm sorry, wait. Well, for anyone on the panel, does anyone... Am I reading this right?
Yes,
Does anyone feel abstinence is the best practice?
Does anyone feel that abstinence
is a best practice?
The best practice.
Okay.
Sometimes it is.
Sometimes it is.
So let's break down. And it's funny because that's why I broke down the definition.
Right.
All right. So the fact or practice of restraining oneself from indulging in something typically alcohol, sex,
right?
Yes.
Absent drugs.
Yes.
But in this case, we're going to talk about sex because we're talking about relationships.
Yes, we're talking about relationships.
Abstinence.
Yes.
So the question is, does anyone feel that
I heard it.
abstinence is the best practice?
Well, I put a comment.
I got you.
I responded to him.
So but I mean, let's we on the show.
Okay, so absolutely, man of God, absolutely. Abstinence, however, is not possible without spiritual grounding. You cannot be abstinent, right, unless you have spiritual practice in a relationship with God. Like, but to discover yourself first before sex is definitely profitable for you because sex clouds the vision. It's a drug. It is. Listen, the endorphins the type of high you have is like you're on some type of heroin
That's
rush.
why people have sex
right?
addiction, porn addiction.
Very true.
Because it's a drug.
So
equal to cocaine.
Physiologically, the old biblical scholars understood this, right? Before they knew what medicine was, they knew God, right? Chemically in your brain, you're intoxicated like you're drunk or you're high, and you're unable to see clearly. That is why in the scriptures they say, don't have sex before you get married. And then you know what they also say? Whoever you lay with, their spirit, their essence comes inside of you. Now, watch this. These are facts that we don't like to talk about. We don't like to discuss because we're modern and we're with it and we're hip and we use profanity and do all the crazy things that we do.
Right.
But whenever you intertwine spirits, you take a part of that person with you. So if you're laying with someone in the bed sexually, man of God, and they're not right, and you leave them, that not right part, that spirit goes along with you, and the things that you can't see now affect your life. But we live in a society that doesn't want to talk about these things. We live in a society that wants to just satiate the flesh. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, Pastor, I have to tip my hat, man of God. Absolutely 100%. So many of our problems, so many of our broken families, so much of the violence and the destruction, so many of the broken people and low self-esteem have to do with what's in between our legs. So, listen.
No, it's true.
Go to church, go to synagogue, become a Buddhist, whatever you got to do. Close your legs, please.
Oh,
close your legs.
Wow.
So, male and female.
Let me take that question. Abstinence. And shout out to Pastor Michael Carr.
Yes.
And yes, we would be honored to be a part of your next production. Salute to you and God bless on that. Now, abstinence, as far as the way I see it, sometimes it's just like fasting.
Yes.
Right? So sometimes you have to withdraw from something and let go of something for a while so you can see things clearly.
Yeah.
So you can, start to realize more about yourself and maybe even your partner. I personally sometimes, and it's funny that we're talking about abstinence. I believe that sometimes you should take a break.
Yes.
Too much of anything
is not
good for you.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And sometimes y'all familiar with the word purging.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes we have to purge ourselves.
Yes, sir.
Whether it be alcohol.
Yes, sir.
We drink all the time, blah, blah.
Yes,
Whether it
sir.
be Cheez-Its. I'm going to give
Yes,
Cheez-Its
sir.
a break because I like
Again.
Cheez-Its.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Whether
Yes.
it be too much meat
Yes.
all the
Yes,
time,
sir.
whatever
Yes.
the case may be.
Yes,
It's
sir.
funny we're talking
Cussing.
about giving up
God,
things.
cussing,
Yes.
Good luck with that one.
Yeah, we're talking
Good
about
luck with
giving
that.
up things
Pray
on
for
Good
me, Pastor.
Friday.
Yes.
On Good Friday. So
Wow.
abstinence to me is very important and crucial in a relationship because once you extract that element away from your relationship, let's see what else we got.
Exactly.
Yes.
Let's see
Yes.
what else we got.
Exactly.
You feel me?
Yes.
So
It's
that's when you test the substance in a relationship.
Yes. Yes.
That's when you test it. You know what I'm saying? To see what else we got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like this meme that I see on Instagram a few times that I kind of like, where it says something like, "To hell with sex, cannot chill with your ass for the whole day."
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? And it's almost, and you say that people say it all the time. You take sex from a relationship, and what do you have left?
Yeah.
Because people are only most of the time more physically attracted than anything else.
True.
And even to go back with what Wu was saying, it's like that's a huge problem I think nowadays with women.
Oh, God.
When it comes to abstinence, like I went a while at one point without being with anybody, and that was my moment to be able to say, okay, it's time for Kiss to be with Kiss, because I was too busy giving to everybody else and not giving to myself, and that in itself is destructive.
Yes.
But now when women we go back to all these comments about the daddy issues and how they look for these men and daddies in these meaningless relationships and all that sort of stuff, and it's true because then they take these addictions, like Norm said, being sexual, and trying to basically find something in every sexual encounter that they have with these people, and it's like you're killing yourself slowly,
right?
Because with everybody that you lay with, you hear a lot of women, I know Jack, you heard it, you hear a lot of women always say, oh well, I could lay with this one or whatever and there ain't no strings attached, and guys like, oh, I'm sleeping with her, but it ain't nothing.
Yeah.
No.
That's the lie.
And once you sleep with somebody and emotions get involved, you've already invested yourself.
That's
You've
right.
already put 2 feet deep into with a dookie stick, like we said.
Right.
You gotta hit yourself over the head with it 2 or 3 times and think that it's gonna be okay, and that's when you get the stalkers.
Right.
Yes.
Or some people can't handle. I slept with her and I enjoyed it so much, and now I can't let it go and all this other stuff. But what happened? I thought you was good.
So you wonder.
It's destructive.
So you wonder why relationships don't work, huh? When I got 20 spirits and you got 30.
Yeah.
Talk about what's the problem?
Right.
I need to go to church.
Man,
you wonder why it don't work?
I'm gonna give you some homework, Woo.
Yes, sir.
And you probably already know, but you'll look up something called sleep paralysis.
Oh yeah, I know about that.
Yeah.
I know about that.
Look up something called sleep paralysis, and when you're talking about
the witch on your back,
taking on the spirits of other things that you didn't dealt with, you know what I'm saying? And this is why you know, look, and I know I get it, man. Look, listen, we're all adults.
Yes,
sex feels great. It feels good.
Well, yes, it does.
He put his hands up for that.
So
yes, it does,
so
sir.
no. When it comes to matters of the flesh like that, yes, it feels great. But then we have to, again, and I say this again, make better decisions.
Right.
We have to make better choices. So if we choose to lie down with a dog, we're going to come up with
You can't
fleas.
expect it to not bark.
So this is why, it's very important for us to choose who especially women, who you allow to enter into your body.
Right. Because you're internal.
It's very important. You know what I'm saying? Because you take on that. And a lot of people don't believe that, but you actually do take on some of them traits because you allow this person to enter your body.
Right.
So when we talk about abstinence, it's just like a cleansing. Every now and then you need a cleansing. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You need to drink a lot of water and flush your system out, whatever like that. Abstinence flushes your soul out.
Yes.
It flushes it out. It flushes all the impurities out of your soul.
Right.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And so I just think it's a good thing to practice in a relationship. So I kind of agree.
Yeah.
And I'm glad.
Well, prior to relationships, you should say it like abstinence, because we live in a world where a lot of people don't care about that anymore. It's like, what? No. Listen, I'm attracted to you. Let's get it. Let's do what we do, and we'll work out the rest later. That's the mindset of people. We see it all the time. It's on social media. It's on television. You have this person sleeping with that person and this person and that. It's just no one thinks about that anymore. And that's a reality.
Women are, listen. Women are life givers. Okay? Whatever you give to a woman, she will give life to. Right? So if you give a woman confusion, she'll birth more confusion. You understand? If you give a woman love, she'll give you love. We are the seed planters, right? Gods and earths, what have you. There's several spiritual manifestations that explain this phenomenon.
Right.
But women have to understand that whoever they let into them, not just sexually, but spiritually or psychologically, that is what the woman reproduces. You see, this is why the woman is so sacred. Right. Now, in a society that doesn't appreciate women and doesn't appreciate men, women, you can turn from your past ways and purify yourself, because you have to understand that you give life to confusion, you give life to war, but you give life to love as well.
Absolutely.
And as men, we also have to have the responsibility as to plant the seed in fertile ground. Right? Yeah. Now, if you take your seed and you plant it in ground that's rocky and thorny, and you get a rocky and a thorny child, and they become destructive, well, then that's my fault. But I'm talking specifically to women, okay? No one appreciates something that has no value. In order to get a diamond, you have to dig in the ground and go through a lot of if diamonds was just on the ground, like here, right? So value yourself, right? And understand that by saving yourself, your value increases, and you will make the man step up to where you are, because we ain't gonna do nothing but chase your skirt any damn way. So why don't you get with God? Why don't you get some principles and we'll just go
absolutely
and come on. Let's make this family.
And shout out to everybody on the check-in. Wow, it was an amazing
Pastor,
topic.
I see you, Pastor.
Yes.
We're gonna have to have a part 2. We agree?
Okay.
Definitely gonna have to have a part 2 to
Yes.
this discussion and everything. You want to read some comments before we close out?
Sure,
or do-
sure. Yeah, I
All
think
right.
we should give some people some just due. So I'm going to start with Stephanie Thomas. She said, it's been 2 years that I haven't had sex or been in a relationship. And yes, this is by choice. I had to give myself some time to know me after divorce, to prepare myself for the next relationship. In this time, I learned so much about me through the grace of God. I now understand that, I now understand what loyalty to oneself is. To oneself. Wow. I commend you for that.
Yeah.
let's clap
Awesome.
that
Yeah,
up.
I commend you. That's like super great. Michael Carr, he said to you, Brother Norman, preacher.
Deacon Norm.
Nikki Raspberry, she said, right, Norm. Kashana Hunt Brown, she said, hey, Man Cave Show.
Hey, Kashana.
So
Respect.
Danielle Spencer, she said, amen, kiss to what you were talking about. Michael Carr said, amen. And Thomas again said, facts. I wanted to bang every night in my marriage. Hey, we keep it real, right?
Yeah.
It is profitable. It is profitable.
Deception brought it to beginning once every 4 months. Like all of a sudden, I'm living with the Amish.
Signals.
Yes.
Signals.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. Wow. That's
Wow.
He
wow.
said these
That's
days
deep.
women act worse than men. I agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
As bad as men.
Yes, and
Yeah.
Danielle Spencer, she said, yes, Jackie, people think that they are living out of love and hip hop in their real lives.
Yep.
Say that. Facts. Okay, we see
got
it all
Pastor
over
Carr.
television. Go ahead. You can read that.
Pastor Carr says, sad but true today, it's a sex crave that will lead to a cold grave if we don't come to terms with the spirit. Sexuality and Christian living needs to be dealt with. Love you guys. Thank
Agreed.
you. We love you too.
Love you too.
Thank you, man
Yes.
of God. We see you.
Salute.
And Danielle
true.
said, preach that sermon, Dawood. So we
Deacon
want to say
Norman,
thank you for
Deacon Wu.
everybody, chiming in. We know that
Yeah.
these subjects sometimes can be very risque, and people may not want to be transparent, but we hope that whatever we said helps someone or maybe one and we're
Right.
just going to keep having topics like this because a lot of times people don't talk about it. We want to talk
Right.
about the fluffy stuff, the stuff that make us laugh, make us smile. We don't
Right.
want to talk about real issues, and
Right.
these are real issues
Yep.
that black families are having. So we hope that we said something that made you think, hey, could this be me? Have I been this person? And it helps you or even a loved one. We appreciate you guys.
No doubt, no
Yes.
doubt. And again, shout out to everybody that's listening to us and watching us live right now on YouTube, watching us live on Twitter right now, watching us live on Periscope,
Listening on
watching us, Ustream, the mother site, WBKS1.com, listening to us on the TuneIn app.
Yes.
We are on multiple platforms all at once now. So we just want to thank you all for tuning in. The Man Cave Morning Show will be back Monday.
Yes.
We'll be back Monday.
Enjoy your Easter
Happy
if you
Good Friday.
celebrate.
Enjoy your Easter. Yep.
Yes,
Yes.
but stay tuned. The Rosemary Gomez Show is coming
Gomez.
next for the Latino community.
Yes.
Yes.
We do it all here.
Yes. Yes. And look, I'm going to tell them to have a nice weekend in Spanish.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Just get it over with.
Just get it over with.
Just because I knew he was going to do it.
Que tenga un buen fin de semana.
He's bilingual.
Te quiero, Taco
that at
Bell.
work.
I'm mad he added the You know what?
But check this out.
Yes.
Check this out.
Jewish Spanish people.
Make sure if there's something you want us to discuss, if you got a particular topic or something you want us to tackle, inbox us,
Yes.
reach out to one of us, or email us at mcms@bks1radio.com. That's mcms@bks1radio.com. And don't forget too, if you know an artist, we don't care what genre of music, rock, pop, rap, jazz, gospel, house, whatever you do. All right, we calling all artists of any music genre. If you would like to get your music exposure live on the Man Cave Morning Show, we have a segment called Hot or Not.
Yes.
It's called Hot or Not. And you, the listeners, get to judge whether it's hot or not, along with the panel up here on BKS1 Radio.
Yes.
All right, so don't be afraid. Send in your music and see what the listeners really think about it, whether it's hot or not. So you can send your music MP3 to MCMS at
BKS1radio.com.
Yes.
Bang, bang.
Yes. All right, so we want to thank everybody for joining us today in the Man Cave Morning Show. Yes. And remember, this show is never about us.
It's always about you.
Because you are
the next best kept secret.
And we out of here, people. Have a great weekend.
Bang, bang, Wakanda.
For life.
For life, forever.
Hey, auntie. Hey, auntie shirt.
This is Chris Spencer, and you're on BKS1 Radio.
It's your girl Chanel, BKS1 Radio, and I'm here with the beautiful Garcelle Bouvet.
I'm paying you later.
Hey, I'm the queen of comedy some more, and right now you're rocking with BKS1 Radio.
BKS1 Radio Network. I'm here with the amazing Miss Tasha Smith. How you doing?
I'm doing so good. Thank you for coming out.
Yes.
I really appreciate it.
Hello, Denise Boutte. Hey, what's up? Shout out to BKS1 Radio. See you soon.
Brick City's finest, J.D. Williams. I'm in the Savage Podcast Studio, chilling at BKS1 Radio.
BKS1 Radio. I'm here with the legendary Mr. Dick Gregory. How you doing today, sir?
Fantastic, brother, and thank you.
This is Essence Atkins, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Jamie Foxx, BKS1 Radio. What's going on with you?
Storming on. This is George Dr. Funkenstein Clinton for BKS1 Radio. They be doing the dog, y'all.
Yo, this is Chris Spencer, and you're on BKS.